Hello everybody, my name is Ali Liami.
And my name is Rashid Mizrahi.
And Abdullah Shahrani.
Today we are going to talk about the issue of bullying for self-education and society. I would like to talk about the issue of bullying, which is very crucial in today's educational environment. Bullying is the form of aggression that is widespread amongst the schools around the world. In the last decade, the situation has become much more severe, causing problems for individuals, their families, and their educational environment. It affects life of many students inside and outside classroom as the victims go through traumatic experience that affects their quality of life and psychosocial well-being. The victims suffer from psychological impact on students for the rest of their lives. There are different types of bullying, such as verbal abuse, such as taunting, social abuse, such as spreading rumors, exclusion from the group, physical abuse, such as pushing, kicking, and hitting, and abuse based on race or sexual orientation. In context of notion of difference, if we look at bullying from the perspective of the reader, the bully signifies themselves by comparing themselves to the victims of bullying. These differences are not absolute. It can be in terms of physical characteristics, the abnormal behavior, the hate towards the normal behavior, threat of not belonging or rejection. Thus, the bully can be the person that belongs to the collective identity of classroom and victimize the person that does not fit in the criteria of collective identity, or bully can be the person that does not fit the criteria of collective identity of the classroom and feeling isolated and abuses the people from belonging to collective identity. The difference in bullying relation is always relational. In many instances, the bully places themselves above the others, and in some instances, they consider themselves inferior to others and behave in a dominant way to resist the threat of fear of not belonging in the classroom, which is considered as normal. Often, the bullying behavior stems from the differences generated from pluralism. The person that does not fit in the classroom due to their sexual orientation or their parents' sexual orientation, behavior, racial or class background might be considered as different from the normal. The victims are considered different from the community and do not reflect the identity of community and are categorized as others. In contrast, observation of bullying incidences goes beyond the usual difference of identity in terms of gender, race, and class. For instance, there might be white students bullying white students, irrelevant of their belonging in the same axis of identity in terms of race, gender, or class.
Tackling bullying and teaching students to not engage in such behavior requires special efforts. First and most important aspect is identifying bullying, so the students can have a clear picture of what constitutes bullying. Teacher can design assignments that focus on identifying and exploring bullying. The students will be required in the activities such as role play in order to demonstrate what is bullying and the physical, psychological, and psychological impact of bullying on victims. This will allow students to understand the severity of bullying and comprehend the consequences associated with bullying activities.
The traditional punishment approach towards bullying is not as effective solution as educating about bullying, because punishment prevents bullying by creating fear about such activity, but does not allow a person to understand the actual consequences of bullying. Thus, educating about all dimensions of bullying behavior might change the whole approach toward bullying activity.
A multimedia presentation that includes interview and stories of bullying victims can be shown in the classroom, so the students can have a better understanding of what are the consequences of engagement in bullying activities.
In many cases of bullying, the culture and ethic difference is the reason behind bullying. In such cases, integrating concept of diversity in the curriculum is essential. The students will be taught the notion of quality and culture of help and support. Groups will be formed within classroom where the students from diverse range of physical, psychological, racial characteristics will be assigned to same group, and they will be engaged in team activities to create positive relationship among the group. This will allow students to communicate with diverse range people, so they are faced with the others, means someone different from them.
Yes, that sounds great. Innovate from educator perspective, it as it will make students more supportive towards the students that don't belong to a collective identity of classroom, and majority of students will not engage in behavior that disagree or push the extent of other in the school environment.
The studies have indicated that the level of commitment from school personnel and parents have crucial role in preventing and stopping bullying. So teachers at school should acknowledge the feeling of the victims of bullying and should have a strong personal commitment towards helping them and preventing bullying.
The intervention by teacher should allow the critical engagement of the children and adolescents involved in the bullying event, as well as with the parents of children. This should focus on creating effective communication and understanding the concept of self-identity and others that is relevant in the school environment. This will allow creating curriculum which might reduce the zone of difference between self and others.
This will allow teachers to clear the embedded notion of different in specific contexts, so they can reduce the marginalization of certain group within classroom and the community.
Yes, sure, that sounds effective, especially in the case of the bullying activities are largely based on racial or ethnic background of the children, introducing the concept of racial equality in the formal curriculum by means of explaining the difference and equality between different races will allow students to think beyond the typical stereotypes of society and appreciate the difference in others.
Thank you, friends. It is very helpful to have this discussion. I am sure applying this idea in educational environment will reduce cases of bullying.